Hello students, myself Dr. Jyoti Shegokar and I welcome you all in my YouTube channel Dr. Jyoti Shegokar, and today we are going to see that how experiment of determination of NaOH and Na2CO3 from alkali mixture is carried out. So we'll start. First of all, I will require different type of chemicals like this 0.05 normal Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate. It is different which is than the sodium carbonate which is present in alkali mixture. Now you should know guys that there is a presence of NaOH and Na2CO3 in a particular proportion in an alkali mixture, and we have to determine each one of it separately. So for that we are using here standard sodium carbonate solution, and this M/20 HCl, which is not standard till simply that HCl is given here, and we have to determine that what is the exact normality of HCl, though we have prepared it by ourselves. So for this I will need HCl. So in this burette I took HCl up to 0 mark. Then in this firstly I will require here 0.05 normal of Na2CO3 for the purpose of standardization of HCl, and here I will require indicator of methyl orange so that I should get exact end point during by the color change. So I already filled here HCl in this burette up to 0 mark, and I am going to fill this 10 ml of Na2CO3 in a conical flask by using this pipette. So there should be exact 10 ml, and here there is a mark of 10 ml. Up to that we have to fill it. I can suck out it with the help of mouth also, but here I am going to use this bulb. So you can see it is up to mark. Okay. Now it is passing into the conical flask. All apparatus should wash first, cleaned properly. Here in this solution I am going to add methyl orange, which is the indicator which gives color change from yellow to red. So by adding this our solution will become yellow. You can see here. So just 3 drops I have added this methyl orange. Now I will titrate it with HCl from the burette. So titration is nothing but addition of dropwise solution which is given in the burette, which is called as a titrant, and here dropwise I have to add with the shaking of conical flask. So continuously I am shaking it, you can see. So there is a color change. When it changes just after orange or after yellow, so you can see here somewhat reddish color is there. So again, to get somewhat dark color, I will add here continuously HCl from the burette with continuous shaking. So here you can see it becomes somewhat again darkened. Again you will add here few drops so that you can clearly see the color. So here it becomes red, you can see. Again I need here some droplets. Yes. Now it is. Again I have to add some droplets. So here you can see this color change, and our reading is 16 up to 16 ml HCl is required to neutralize 10 ml of this Na2CO3. So according to that, we will calculate that concentration of HCl and will make it standard. So in this way, I took single reading. In this way, the students will take 3 different readings at the same way, so that more accuracy will be there. So I throw it, and now I will wash this conical flask properly. So this all is about our first step. By knowing the volume of HCl, I will come to know what is the concentration of HCl by using standard Na2CO3 solution, this one. Now again, for the second step, I am going to fill HCl into this burette up to 0 mark. Here there is a marking is given from lower side to the from upper side to the lower side. So that's why 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 50 ml is there. Now this method to determine different alkalis from alkali mixture, it's called as a double indicator method. So in this we have to use 2 different indicators at the same time. Here there is one reason that why we are using both, though there is a both alkalis, why we are using 2 different indicators. So it is for maintaining pH constant, because whenever we determine NaOH, there is a different pH of the total reaction, while when we will determine Na2CO3, there is a different pH. So for according to that, to maintain it, we are using 2 different indicators. So phenolphthalein or thymol blue, these are the names of indicator which are used to determine NaOH particularly completely and some part of Na2CO3. And during that there is a pH of 3.3 to 4.4. While when we use another indicator like methyl orange, there is a different pH which is up to 10, 7.8 up to 10. So for that we are using here 2 different indicators. Now by this same pipette, I am going to take the alkali mixture solution. Here you can see, students, it is a bottle which is having the name alkali mixture. In this, the solution which is prepared, which is having both alkalis, is there. So I took this solution in this beaker, and now I am going to take 10 ml of this alkali mixture by using this same pipette up to again that particular mark. So you can see it is up to that particular mark. Now I am going to pass it into again the conical flask. So all drops should be dropped in the conical flask. And here at first I have to use, as I said, I have to use here phenolphthalein indicator. So I will need it only 2 drops, 2 to 3 drops. So it is just changing its color. So by adding phenolphthalein, I got here pink color. So till I get pink, it changes to colorless. I have to carry out the titration with the same HCl, which is filled up to 0 mark. Now here drop wise I have to add, and then I get here a color change. So its reading is up to 4 ml. So at 4 ml, which reading I got? I got the total concentration of NaOH and some of the Na2CO3 is also added there. So those, when I get reading for phenolphthalein, it is a reading of NaOH totally when it is completed. Now I have to proceed with the same solution. I will not throw this solution. So in this same solution, I am going to add here methyl orange indicator, while this titer reading is also the continued. It will not be again added with HCl. So in this way I will put here 3 drops so that it becomes yellow, and now I will continuously or drop wise add here this HCl from the burette. So first reading was 4.5. Now it is changing its color from yellow to red. So in this way I got this reddish color up to the mark of 8.5. So in this way, in this second step I got the different readings. First is at 4 to 4.5 while second is up to 8.5. So 4.5 is a phenolphthalein reading while this 8.5 is a methyl orange reading. In the same way, same step can be 3 times repeated so that I could get a constant and exact reading. So now just we take readings for a mixture solution of NaCl as well as HCl for the Na2CO3 as well as alkali mixture. So just turning towards the observations. Our observations are like this. For part 1, volume of N/20 is 0.05 normal Na2CO3. Just we took by the using pipette in the chemical class. It was 10 ml each time. While volume of HCl which was required, which is the reading of our first step, that is 60 ml. So in this way we took readings 3 times, so 60 ml each. So here we got constant of 16 ml reading, that is addition of all 3 and divided by 3 again. So that is nothing but constant reading or average. While the second step, volume of alkali mixture, that was taken during second step by the using pipette again in the chemical class, so it was 10 ml. While during the second step we use 2 different indicators. In the first indicator, that is phenolphthalein, at that time we can use another indicators also. So this for the phenolphthalein indicator we got reading 4.5 ml, 4 to 4.5, so 4.5 is confirmed reading. While for methyl orange we have got reading of 8.5 ml. So in this way these are our observations. Now for the second step we have to calculate the volume of HCl which is required particularly for NaOH and particularly for Na2CO3 because both are there in mixture. So in first step when we got phenolphthalein reading, so we can write here P is equals to, at that time totally NaOH has been totally utilized while sum of Na2CO3 is there. So that's why we have written here NaOH plus half of Na2CO3. While remaining Na2CO3 has been removed by the methyl orange indicator. So methyl orange, as we have continued that reading, but not we have refilled the HCl. So that's why we can write here methyl orange indicator is equals to NaOH plus total Na2CO3. So from this we can see here M minus P is equals to half of Na2CO3. From this, when we subtract P minus M, so NaOH will get cancelled and we get here half of Na2CO3. While when we multiply it by 2, we can get twice M minus P. So this total subtraction is to be doubled. So this twice M minus P is equals to Na2CO3. So volume which is required for Na2CO3 is been calculated by doubling difference between M minus M and P, that is methyl orange minus phenolphthalein. While for the second step, for the determination of NaOH here, M minus twice M minus P is this twice we have subtracted from the methyl orange reading. So NaOH plus Na2CO3 minus Na2CO3. So we can get this NaOH completely. So twice P is only phenolphthalein reading is doubled minus methyl orange. So in this way we can calculate volume of HCl which is required to neutralize NaOH. So in this way we have done these calculations. So volume of HCl for NaOH is twice P is twice phenolphthalein reading is twice this 4.5 minus M. While the volume which is of HCl which is required for Na2CO3 is twice M minus P. So 8.5 minus 4.5 into 2. So in this way we can get those readings which are required, those calculations which are required to calculate NaOH and Na2CO3. While for the first step we have to standardize HCl, and for that we have got this reading of HCl. So we will do that firstly. So we have seen that how we have to calculate the amount of HCl for the particular NaOH as well as Na2CO3. So now we will see its calculations for Na2CO3 particularly in the first step. Now in the first time. So here calculations for part 1. Part 1 is related to volume of HCl for Na2CO3. So here we will write Na2CO3 is equivalent to HCl because we have to calculate normality of HCl from normality of Na2CO3. So here N1V1 is related for Na2CO3 while N2V2 is for HCl. Now N1 is the normality of Na2CO3. We know that it was N by 20. So N by 20 is nothing but 0.05. 1 by 20 into N. So it is 0.05. V1 volume which we took during the taking the volume of Na2CO3, that is there for pipette. So it is 10 ml. So volume of Na2CO3 is 10 ml V1. N2 is to be calculated. We have to calculate. Then this V2 is a volume of HCl which is required for neutralizing Na2CO3 in the first step. So in this way, we will put here the value. I put these values here of N1, V1 and N2 is to be calculated and V2. So in this way, I can here calculate N2 which is equals to N1 V1 upon V2. So I got here the last calculation 0.031. So it is the normality of HCl. Now we are sure that we have totally standardized HCl. So in this way, its unit is normal. Always there is a need of writing this unit that is normal. So N2 it is 0.031 normal which is required to us during the calculations of second step. Now here for part 2, I already told you that volume of HCl which is required for Na2CO3. So it is calculated. We have seen already that why we took here M minus P. M is the reading for methyl orange while this P is the reading of phenolphthalein. So M minus P, that is 8.5 minus 4.5. So we will get 4 and it is to be doubled. So it is 8 ml. So our 8 ml volume of HCl is required for neutralizing Na2CO3 completely. So we will use this same value. Now, since it is a standard condition that 1000 ml of one normal HCl is required for this, the 53 grams of Na2CO3 will be required because 53 is a equivalent weight of Na2CO3. So it is a standard condition. 53 grams of Na2CO3, one normal HCl and 1000 ml volume. So from this we will calculate for our 8 ml. Our volume it is 8 ml which is required for Na2CO3. So therefore 8 ml of 0.01 normal. Our normality is 0.031. So it is 0.031 normal HCl. So for that, from 1000 ml we have to calculate for 8 ml. That's why we will multiply it by 8. This 53 is to be multiplied by 8 as well as its normality is 0.031, not 1. So that's why we multiply it by 0.031 and 53. So 53 into 0.031 into 8. Divided by 1000. Why? Because we have calculated from 1000 ml. So that's why we will put our value here. It is normality, it is volume and it is equivalent weight of Na2CO3. So in this way, we will get its answer that 0.013 grams. So this is our calculation for 8 ml of 0.031 normal HCl. But when we got this reading or this volume, that is 8 ml of 0.031 normal of HCl, when we took 10 ml of alkali mixture. So here we can see. So 10 ml of alkali mixture, for 10 ml of alkali mixture, same will be the conditions. So therefore, as for 8 ml of HCl, this is the right hand side. For 10 ml of alkali mixture, same will be the right hand side. So that's why for 10 ml of alkali mixture, 0.0131 grams. Now, here it is for 10 ml, but we want per ml. Grams per liter, not per 10 ml. So that's why for 1000 ml we have to calculate. So for this, from this 10 we have to calculate for 1000 ml. Therefore, 1000 ml of alkali mixture is equals to 0.031, those which is answered of first step, multiplied by 1000 and divided by 10. So in this way we can get here this 10 will be cancelled and this will be just pushed towards ahead 0.1, sorry, not 0.12, it's 1. So this 1.3 is the reading for grams per liter. So for this grams per liter of alkali mixture, 0.031 1.3 grams of Na2CO3 is present. So this is for Na2CO3. Now we will move towards for the calculations of NaOH. Now for NaCl, now for the second calculation. So for NaCl, volume of HCl required, we have already seen that twice P minus M means twice 4.5 minus 8.5. So we have got here when we done it, so it's reading X first. So for NaOH, here there is a twice P minus M means twice 4.5 minus 8.5. So we have got here volume 0.05, sorry 0.5. So this is the volume of HCl for NaOH. Now here there is a standard condition that 1000 ml of one normal HCl is equals to 40 gram of NaOH. It is because like Na2CO3, here there is a equivalent weight of NaOH is 40. So that's why here there is a 40 on the right hand side, and here from 1000 we calculate for 1 ml again. Sorry, here there is again 0.5 ml. So for 0.5 ml we have to multiply it by 0.5. So 40 into 0.5 into 0.031, which is the normality of HCl, which we have already calculated during first step, and divided by 1000 because from 1000 we took the standard condition. Therefore, so this is for 0.5 ml of 0.031 normal HCl. This reading was there when there is a alkali mixture was 10 ml. So again for 10 ml of alkali mixture, same will be the right hand side. So here when we calculate this, that 40 into 0.031 into 0.5 divided by 1000, so it is 0.00062. So it is nothing but grams of NaOH. So in this way, from 10 ml we have to calculate for 1000 ml. So for 1000 ml, because we got it in grams per liter, so that's why in 1000 ml, for 1000 ml of alkali mixture, again I will multiply it by 1000 and divide it by 10. That means point will be moved ahead by 2. So 1, 2, here I have got 0.062, like that, 0.062 grams per liter. So it is a NaOH which is present in our alkali mixture, while the Na2CO3 which was present in the alkali mixture we have already calculated. So in this way both are present in alkali mixture in this particular amount, 0.62 grams per liter of NaOH, and what was we have calculated for Na2CO3. So in this way we have determined here amount of NaOH and Na2CO3 from given alkali mixture by the performance of experiment as well as by this theoretical calculations. So in this way we have done this experiment. Thank you very much.